Mariusz Błaszczak, the former Minister of Defense under the Law and Justice, is the latest official from the former government who is being accused by the ruling coalition of criminal wrongdoing. This comes among a flurry of special commissions to investigate the previous government and marks a record number of former officials being brought before the justice system with their liberty at risk. And now to discuss the merits of the move by the current government is board member of Akcja Demokracja, Jakub Kocjan. Hello, Jakub, and thank you very much for joining us today on World News Tonight.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Now, concerning Mr. Błaszczak, former minister, Defense Minister Błaszczak, he is being accused of leaking top secret information, classified information, during his campaign to show the wrongdoings of the previous government. So where is this case heading for the minister?
Yes, so currently the prosecutor's office has asked the parliament to waive the immunity of Mariusz Błaszczak because he is currently the member of parliament, even the leader of the parliamentary fraction of Law and Justice. So it has the same path as many other possibly in the future convicted members of Law and Justice who have their legal problems. And it is really difficult to imagine what worse could be done for the safety of the country than leaking the documents, the classified documents about the potential plans of defending the country during possible Russian invasion.
Right. Well, let's just clarify this. This information was never declassified, was it?
It has never been declassified because even if it is not the contemporary plan, still the historical, the previous plans have to be classified in order to prevent any possible suspicions by the potential enemy. And it is clear that Russia is this potential enemy, so of course, there are many possibilities or many scenarios of possible defense of frontline country like Poland in such a situation. And of course, there are scenarios which are more optimistic and more pessimistic, thinking about, for example, the time we need to have to prepare our country to defend, to wait for our allies from the NATO. So, of course, Law and Justice revealed it, and Mariusz Błaszczak, who was Minister of Defense, was particularly responsible for having all these materials classified, because who is the person to protect such information if it is not the contemporary, the current, then time Minister of Defense of the state? Right.
Now, Mariusz Błaszczak is arguing that these are historical documents and not necessarily clarified, and that he had every right to release them, and he even went a bit further and said that if he was faced with the same decision, he would do it again. The party chairman, Jakub Kocjan, has also said that this is a pure political move. What are your thoughts on that?
If Minister Błaszczak says that he would do it again, it is probably the thing which should be included by the court who will decide this case if the person with charges is openly saying that he would do such a possible crime or alleged offense again. So definitely it is important information for the court itself. And about the rhetoric of Law and Justice, I have heard already today that Law and Justice declared that there was a coup of state by Donald Tusk today. I have not noticed it during the day, such a situation. Definitely, Law and Justice is playing really dangerous game because Poland currently is in very difficult situation. And the only thing which is happening when it comes to rule of law is taking accountable people who had committed alleged offenses or even crimes during 8 years of law and justice government, and it's all. And the fact that the Prosecutor General is at the same time Minister of Justice, which of course is used to criticize that the government is behind it. This change was implemented, this amendment was implemented by Law and Justice itself. They wanted to combine these institutions because of their decision and the will of Andrzej Duda, the current president, who is saying clearly that he would veto any change. It's the only reason why the Prosecutor's General Office and State Prosecutor's Office are connected to the government. But of course, I hope that after the presidential elections, these two institutions, the government and prosecutor's office, will be separate, and it will give even more evidence of the fact that all these proceedings are based on the evidence. And it took time, it took many months to collect the evidence and all the proofs in these cases, and I believe it's the best evidence itself that it is just based on pure merits.
Mm-hmm. Right, despite the claims that the opposition party is claiming otherwise. Okay, I'd like to switch gears now and go to the Attorney General Bodnar, who described what happened in the EU today during the ruling of upholding the fine for 380 million euros due to breaches of the rule of law. Let's take a listen to what he said earlier today.
It is the judgment that is a result of the ongoing discussion concerning rule of law in Poland, and in fact non-enforcement by Polish authorities in 2021 of the interim measure that concerned the system of disciplinary accountability for Polish judges. So to great extent it is a consequence of the fact that for almost 2 years this system was existing. It has been eliminated more or less in 2023, but still the money that has been adjudicated at this time, individual penalties for each day of violating the EU law are there. So basically, as I understand, the Court of Justice had to give that kind of a judgment that is looking back into the past.
Okay, so in this case, despite the fact that it was the last government, still the current government is going to, well, they're going to try and challenge this decision and see if they can't get the money that's already been paid back.
Yes, unfortunately, I'm afraid that the appeal is not going to be effective, as European Court of Justice has not surprised us at all. It only confirmed that the European Commission had the right to deduct already, because it's not that we are going to pay more money after this judgment. It's just that we are not going to get reimbursed for that. And the only person to blame here is the President Andrzej Duda, who has not signed the bills which are changing this wrong situation contrary to European law, and of course members of parliaments from Law and Justice in previous term who supported such a bill, because Polish law has to be in order, in accordance to European law, and if we are breaking it, we have to pay, unfortunately, because this money are really needed for our healthcare, for our energy transformation.
Certainly, it definitely added up to quite a big, hefty sum of money. Well, I'd like to thank you for coming in today. Of course, Jakub Kocjan from the Akcja Demokracja. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much for
appreciate it. And that concludes this edition of World News Tonight. Thank you for joining us, and stay with us for more here on TVP World.